Namaste. Myself, Dr. Sonia Bunganaba. I'm a chief consultant at Diabetes Rules at Biden. So I'm going here today to talk on a topic, evolution of insulin. So many people are feeling instead of taking a pills or being on those particular pills and adding every year a new pill to their routine, instead of that, why doesn't they go with the insulin treatment? So I thought that people should actually understand what exactly and how does the insulin works on your body. Until and unless you don't understand about it, then you will not be able to understand the difference between being on a palatable treatment, that is being on a medications, and then when on the later stages, generally that's how the diabetes management was happening. It's like initially, if you are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, then they start with the basic pills, maybe like anti-diabetic medication, Gabapentine, metformin, whatever the basics are there. So your doctor would tell you to follow those things and then shift you onto a particular diet along with an exercises, the calorie management. They tell you how much of the protein, how much of the carbohydrate has to be taken. All those things would be considered. And still, if a patient does not respond, because I have already spoke about type 2 diabetes, how does it act? There could be a possibility. One is there is a decreased production or would be a resistance to your cells. So considering those things, your doctor will choose a best drug fee. Along with that, once your body start decreasing the secretion, I mean the pancreas start decreasing the secretion of insulin, a type 2 diabetes patient starts suddenly about to be type 1. That is completely depending on insulin. So let's see the evolution of insulin treatment. How did even insulin came into existence? I mean, no, when we got to know about diabetes, so we also speak when you do research what is diabetes or what exactly the excess of sugar and dosing in your urine. This all comes from the Latin word. So everybody does know about the disease. So people should also start getting awareness of how did the insulin came into existence. We should understand the evolution. See, every treatment has its own evolutions, like how every disease has its pathogenesis. Like once it starts in your body, from where does it start? From where did the immunity had we speak about, the dosa imbalance in your body, the which particular dosa is started getting imbalanced in your body, and then you will develop that. You will go into a comorbid, that is a pre-stage of that disease, and then you go into a complete exhibition of the disease, and later stages you might go to complications. So that's how our pathogenesis of a disease goes. In the same way, the treatment will also have an evolution. Where did this started from? So let me just give you a history about this evolution of insulin treatment. It was long back. So when a person started getting this diabetes, the researchers, the medical team, everybody was like, they never knew that. They might find out in the pancreas, that's an organ. When they never knew that is a particular organ which is producing insulin, and that particular beta cells or whatever you speak about, the insulin metabolism. The problem lies in that. So how did we got to know? And there should be a beginning for everything. In the same way, they were like a German researchers. So they started doing these researches, and there is another story we had. It's like they happened to take out the pancreas from the dogs, and they checked it. So the dogs, suddenly the sugar levels started, shooting up, and then they understood, okay, this is an organ which is producing something which completely takes care of what in our glucose levels in our body. Then they started researching what is it actually secreting. So they started making a research on that pancreas, what all the enzyme activity happens inside the pancreas. then they understood, okay, there is a something which is, okay, you call it as an hormone. So that is they understood, okay, and that, and those researchers named it as insula. That's how the insulin word started. That's a Latin word, and they read as a kind of island. So that's how they discover. Anyways, so they started like that was the first time. Now there was a boy of 14 years old who happened to get into that diabetes, type 1 diabetes. Then they started using this particular insulin on the body. So that's the time. And yes, in 1923, these researchers also got the Nobel Prize, like the Frederick and this German researchers, John McLeod. So that this is how insulin came into existence. So it did come overnight, like every science. I mean, every medication in the pharmaceuticals takes a lot of research. And that it just can't go wrong. That's where the untried runs, because we just mind foster a life of a person, or you do execute something. But everything needs a beginning. So you have to say what lacks together, then yes, then they might be your initial stages of struggle in every industry, the same way. So this is how they started with the insulin. So it started somewhere in 1920s. So after that, so we have to understand, let me just give you a brief about this, how the insulin evolution started. So yeah, they started from the isolation. So they started the pancreas of that particular animal, which is secreting the insulin. So we started with the research can be used that in humans. It was almost similar, but we could not able to completely use it because it was not completely matching. So that is where they started synthesizing the insulin. So they understood we had to produce something in the lab which would completely resembles, or which does the same action which would do in our human body. So that's how the insulin started, the synthetic form started forming. So there are many analogs of the particular insulin. So they also initially tried with the non-injectable insulin. They were but they didn't actually become stabilized in the market. They were like inhalation insulins were also being discovered. Like you have to indicate, but there were many other practical difficulties also in that, and the absorption capacity was not really that great. So that we happened to switch quite to injectable form of insulin. So let me just tell you what kind of based on their actions. There are insulins. That is a rapid action insulin, what we call it as the first one. In that, there are again 2 to 3 kinds, which would go to the peak action, which would take like 30 minutes, 20 minutes after consumption, 30 minutes or 40 minutes of after consumption. So that is a one type. So aspartame, stroke, insulin. So these are the types of that. And the second category comes is short-acting insulin. So this short-acting insulin is like which would last on your body for 4 to 12 hours. So that is like that's a regular one. Cumulative is most of the patients. So whenever the patient suffering from type 1, there will be a combination of these two things will be given, because we have to understand how does your glycemic index work in your body. Then yes, the doctor would give you the formulations. And then comes the intermittent acting insulin also. So that would stay for you in your body for almost what it was the action stays, the one dose of it. But it hasn't, or it goes to its peaks every 1 to 2 hours after you consume it. Next counts as like long-acting insulin. And nowadays it is coming is like ultra long-acting as well. The trending insulin, what is there presently in the insulin market is novel insulin. So many might be using that, or many might be using the other one which I said, that is a short-acting as well. Regular insulin, cumulant. So these are the types of insulin. So why did I just write you the names out. Anyways, that doesn't give you any deep knowledge about the insulin. But I'm trying to tell you, whenever the people are trying to shift from type 2 diabetes, from the tablets to insulin, then you should also know that the treatment, how did the treatment even evolve? So you have to understand that insulin therapy is given whenever your pancreas is completely not able to work on it. So please do understand this. So when you have already your pancreas is no more secreting that particular entity, that is the insulin, which is which is responsible in your body to take care of your glycemic index, which would make a person to go into shock conditions as well. So you have to understand whether am I at the right place or am I the right person? Is that my body is the right body to start making insulin? And when you choose that, you should also understand the pros and cons of it. It is not just developed overnight. That is where we are talking about the evolution of the particular insulin treatment. So anything which has developed on this, like hundreds of years it has taken, so what will we doing? So we will be researching on that, and we have read it better with the help of a technology. But is that a permanent solution? Okay, I have to that down here. It's like type 2 diabetes. Then what is the difference between type 1 and type 2? If it is an insulin replacement therapy itself is a solution for you, that why would I really start with the tablets? Then what is the necessity? Then why should I actually get into all this blood tests to understand that being beyond the type 2 or a type 1? Let us just start injecting everyone with NCA. No, it doesn't go in that way. And definitely, if the pathology of pancreas is able to produce and there is only insulin resistance is there in your body, that there is something wrong with your metabolism, where everything involves your liver, your other vitals, your stomach enzymes, everything involves. So, in fact, okay, if insulin was ready to why it was ready to only injectable form, because it's a protein that gets digested in your body. So when you take it oral, that is the difference. That's why we are directly injecting to your body. So you have to understand, when it goes into your stomach, there are enzymes or there are acids which would just digest that as another food. Yeah, so people have to understand, shifting onto insulin might sometimes sound more easy to you, but the thing is, you are completely depending on the replacement, right? Your body is more producing the insulin. Then yes, then you have all the rights to shift onto that. But when you have type 2 diabetes and you're really able to do good, you're able to keep your A1C like below 6.5%, and none of your organs is being injured or being involved into any type of complication, why do you want to go for replacement therapy? Just go with a good diet. Because initially, before the insulin, before all these things developed, the people have understood, this much diabetes is something where sugar level starts shooting down. So they started working on first what the person eats. And whenever that is how they understood. Like if you have a starch, if you have a rice, how much the dose level would increase, how much it would decrease, depending on that, only the diet gave you resistance. Nowadays, yes, there are an number of diet, keto diet, intermittent fasting. So every diet, I would say, which is primarily the market, everything has come only because of the diabetes disease. Because that was the first disease, not because of obesity. People used to understand, I'm overweight, I had to reduce weight. But once they started with only the diabetes, because the diabetes is a disease, overweight is also a disease, or it could lead to a disease. So there were many people who are really hefty but healthy. So it doesn't mean that all obese people are diabetic, but they have a chance of developing diabetes because their metabolism is really going wrong. So please, you have to understand this. So whenever I'm having every diet in the market have come into existence only because of the insulin metabolism in our body. So am I in that stage to go into a complete replacement therapy? That's the first question you have to ask yourself. And the second thing is, like, are you into a complications, or are you into any kind of other emergency condition where you have no other option other than taking insulin? Then yes, then it would make the sense. So, anyways, this is my topic for the day. That was a evolution of insulin treatment. I hope at least people now start thinking how can even insulin gave it to the existence, because I feel that they don't understand any treatment evolution. I won't say that you just have to go randomly and just nod your head and take it off. Oh, please understand. Any metabolic or lifestyle diseases, 50% of the thing depends on you. How do you want to come out of it? Depending on that, only you have all the rights to make a choice of the treatment. So whenever you choose a treatment, please think on it and try to review for your doctors. That's what makes sense. Don't just Google it off or just don't read some random articles and don't get into a conclusion. Because whatever is spread is the portal, as far as I understand, that is a deal from the humans. So please do understand. So everywhere mistakes could happen, miscommunication could happen, but you have to understand every individual is different. Even though disease is the same, every individual treatment ways, even though pancreas is the same in everybody's body, but it doesn't separate the same insulin. Like, for example, increased. Like a person in a diabetic type 2%, it could be decreased to 10%. In another person, it could be decreased to 20% of the same age, same gender, same area, geographical area, wherever it needs to be born and brought out. So please to understand, every body is different. Every individual has a unique system of metabolism that all varies from our lifestyle. That is where it again connects to your lifestyle disease. Anyway, so this is about the evolution of insulin treatment. I have covered up with many other things about insulin might in other videos. Kindly you can get more information on those. Thank you.